What's up, guys? Today I bring a topic that I had no idea I wanted to make, and that is while I was working. This was like a couple days ago, actually, but I just remembered about this thing that happened. I was ringing up some lady's stuff, right? And usually when I start a transaction, I go, "Hey, how's it going?" And at that point, that is when I am looking at the person's face and looking for their eyes to make eye contact because I think that's respectful. And after that, I start focusing on what I'm doing. And when I say I focus on what I'm doing is I continue to do my job. So I keep taking care of the groceries, I keep asking them questions. And at that point, I don't find it necessary to be looking at them, especially if they have their backs turned or they're on the side, like their side is facing me while they unload their crap. Hey, Garuda. So this lady, this one older lady, decided that when she was getting ready to pay, and I kept telling her her total, and I told her to try her card again and whatnot. She was like, are you going to let me see your eyes? I look at her confused and I'm like, what do you mean? And then she's like, well, it's just that the entire time that you've been talking to me, we haven't made eye contact. This is a regular, okay? So I'm telling myself, yeah, you're right, I am focused and it's what I do usually during my greeting and answering a question that's being directly asked to me, and during the dismissal is when I make eye contact. But other than that, I continue to work because I cannot just be like, I'm scanning and then you start talking and then I seize the day to listen to you. I cannot do that. So anyways, after I told her, she was like chill about it, like ugh, like she didn't know what else to say. But that raised the question for me of, is multitasking a bad thing? Because I know that in a relationship, for example, sometimes we may have some folks complain that you're not actively listening to them. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but the way that hearing and sound works is you can be listening to music, for example, and you can be using a computer and typing an email. In a sense, you're multitasking. You're listening to music, even though you're not attentively listening to it, especially if it's a song that you're familiar with. But in a sense, your hearing is being stimulated. You're typing, which is you have to think about the sentences that you're going to compose. That is the task that you have at hand. But you can also be having a conversation with someone. Because with my mother in the past, I have been listening to music. She has been telling me stuff, and I retain it perfectly fine, and I am still typing to someone. I am sorry that I am good at everything that I do. Like, I am sorry that I am good at having multiple things going on for me, and that for some reason you want me to give you my full attention. Like, what's the problem with that? So to be told that I wasn't making enough eye contact with someone, it's like, okay, first of all, what we're doing is not even that serious. Like, I'm just over here doing my job, taking care of your groceries, whatnot. But for some reason, you're trying to make a big deal out of it. Like, you don't need for me to be looking at you, like, giving you this face, staring at you throughout the entirety of the process, right? So I just wanted to ask that question. Do you guys think it's rude to be multitasking in the grand scheme of things? Because I understand that listening skills are better when you focus and you listen to someone intently. But if you have the skills and ability to be doing more than one thing at the same time because you're efficient like that, why is that a problem? So is she just tripping? Am I the one who's tripping? Or you guys let me know. I love it when people have different opinions from mine, but for me, I don't give a damn. Like, if I'm talking to you and I know that you're an efficient person who doesn't need to be intently listening to me, I leave you alone because I'm the same way. Sometimes when I am in the office, I have people talking to me and I still keep doing my computer work. And if they pause or something, I may go like, I'm listening. And that's when they may go like, it's not you, it's just that I'm hearing someone who's talking to me in my ear, or I'm checking a message, something, whatever stupid thing it is. So I think it really depends on the person, but for me, it's not a big deal. I don't feel like I need to be making eye contact, especially when a conversation is not serious. And sometimes for me, eye contact can be a symbol of hostility, depending on how it is. So I know it's not a common interpretation, because I know that eye contact, it's like, okay, wow, it's good to make eye contact so that the person knows that you're being respectful and actively listening to them. But to me, with what I do, it's not that serious. So you guys let me know, do you think that matters based on the circumstance, or is multitasking something that we should stop doing because in the end we're not really as efficient as we think, even if you have good results? Or you guys let me know. I just don't know what else to add to it, except leave me alone. Let's see. And Holger has arrived. Hello, greetings to you. Um, let's see. What's something else that happened? No, that was the only thing that happened, and those were the series of thoughts that I had. But I would love to hear from you guys what you gotta say about that, because I let go of the situation immediately, but it got me thinking, because if I'm being rude, if I'm doing something wrong, I want to know. I know where she's coming from. She is used to like being actively listened to, like eye contact is important and whatnot, like especially since she's an older person. But for me, no one had ever given me a hard time about it, because I would expect that you understand that if I'm at my job setting, that I have to be focused on so many things. But for some reason, you made a big deal about me looking at you when it was trivial stuff, you know? But anyways, that's just me. Alright guys, well, that was my story. I will try to come back later with what I actually mean to talk about, but I thought that I would share the story because I think it's interesting. That had never happened to me, and usually when something about me gets critiqued when I am working, it usually comes from old people. Another thing that someone picked on me about one time was, and this has happened twice actually, it's the way that I hand people back their change is I have the receipt beneath the bills, and on top of the bills I put the change, and I place it on people's hands. I don't throw the coins on people's hands. I actually place it. So there's no way for you to drop it. There's just no way for you to lose it. And I am placing it, which means I'm not being rude. So usually what people end up doing is they let the money just slide into the zipper of their wallet, whatever you call that little compartment where the coins go. And the other people simply throw it in their pocket. But for some reason, there's been two old people who they're like, you gotta give me the coins first and then give me the bills. And then I'm like, why do you make such a big deal about it? The money will end up in your purse or wallet, period. So anyways, I think people are tripping. So I just try to ignore the mess out of that. But yeah, it's crazy. If you have advice for me or you want to teach me something, you can be kind about it. You don't have to be like aggressive about it. And nobody, absolutely nobody else has problems with it. Out of the tens of thousands of people whom I have helped, only 2 people have complained about that or given me a hard time about it. So the one who needs to like modernize is you. So, you know, and there's other people who do it just like I do as well. So you're tripping. You're definitely tripping. It's kind of weird. I think it is weird. I wouldn't describe your situation as rude at all. You were at work. Multitasking, I would say, is expected. I was once told of customer service that you should forget everything you thought you knew about human decency, for you shall be shown none, in those exact words. You know what? I think that people get the wrong idea about you when you're someone who has a job that's that level, like entry level, not very skilled. You are seen as someone who probably doesn't have an education, and for some reason having an education is what's absolutely indicative that you are someone who has common sense. Although today I was told of something that I absolutely loved, which is, Zam, there is absolutely no common sense. Common sense has become rare sense. And I was laughing because that sounds so true and so accurate. But another thing that I absolutely detest, and one day I hope to make a video about the things that people do that just make me fly through the roof. But one of the things that I absolutely detest is when people keep telling me everything. These are apples. These are oranges. And I see what it is. I can tell. Or inside that bag, there are bananas, a lime, and an orange. Thanks a lot. I had no idea. Wow, what a revelation. Despite the bag is clear, or despite the bag being clear. And the other times they start telling me step by step how they want something bagged. And it is exactly how I was going to do it anyway. And my favorite part of it all is when I am done putting stuff in a bag and they decide to keep adding stuff to their bag and the bag ends up ripping on them. It's such a pleasure witnessing that, because at that point, they'll get upset, and some people admit that they should have left it up to the professional. But other people just straight up want to get angry and somehow shift the blame on you. So I just get an immense amount of pleasure when that happens. Like, I'm probably a very terrible person and sinister, but I love it when that happens, because I'm like, had you not messed with my work, which I spent years doing this, maybe you would have had a better experience today while you were grocery shopping. But anyways, I feel like that's life taking justice for me, or giving me some justice. I don't know. I always thought common sense was an ironic thing to call it. I learned it fruit today. I loved it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys now, but I'll come back later.